Here we go. Beautiful. Alright, I'm starting the stream back up. Let me oh, that's the wrong thing. Alright, open up the Curse Forge. I don't know, I'm not even watching my stream yet, so I'm a little confused. Hold on. Just gotta click some crap. Just click some crap, you know what I mean? Just click some crap. Alright. What was I doing? Come on, go faster. I don't want to sit around here doing nothing. I mean, it's like 3 in the afternoon or whatever. Can this load any slower? Not that I'm impatient, it's just I'm impatient, you know. Come on. Load faster. There we go. That's yep. Right there. There we go. Oh, we got a Master Jerry now with a little face, thinking face. Yes. I don't know why you guys are always first to the live every single day. Will it be fixed? I don't know. I mean, I restarted my computer. Day 207. I'm not doing an ASMR. I'm not gonna promise to not do an ASMR, but I'm not doing an ASMR. I clearly have not made that many live streams in that amount of time, so. What PC specs do you have? Okay, my PC it's got a big window on it, and a fan, and this big, computer chip thing covered in dust, and then more fans, and some cords, and this tinkery looking stuff with a bunch of funny colors. Are you sick? Yeah. Yes, my throat does indeed hurt. And and I'm coughing with extreme force to the point that I'm thinking I'm going to start coughing up blood. But I have not done that yet, so we should be good. Alright, anyways, this stream better be good. It better not be lagging. Oh yeah, it's not lagging. Yeah, I don't think it's lagging. I'm just moving around while looking at my stream. Look at that, it's not lagging. How informative. Sad face? Yeah, well, we'll be happy that the stream's doing well. Alright. The stream looks good. It's looking good, boys. Let's break this tree down. Anyways, I'm gonna what are you doing here? No one likes you. Alright. Why am I getting so much porks, bro? Oh my gosh. Come here, little piggy. Get back here. Get back here. You gave me too much meat. I think that's good now. Yes, it's good. Amazing. Anyways. Beware of the coughs. I cannot stop them, and I cannot mute my mic because this is a new mic. This is a new headset, and I can't just click a button to mute my mic. I don't know how to mute the mic. How did that even happen? How did I get sick? I don't know. I mean, it's probably had to do with me getting in some call with a friend and just constantly screaming for like 6 hours, of which it messed up my throat and I guess made me more susceptible to an illness. And then now I have a sore throat and a cough. No, the stream. By the way, this is Minecraft? Yes, this is modded Minecraft. You can tell it's modded because these books aren't normally in Minecraft. Also, those trees are weird, as you can see. Anyways, this was a great seed that I got second try. First try it was a jungle, which is about the worst seed you could possibly get, but this seed's pretty good. As you can see, I got some resin there, and see if we can get some more resin, please. In fact, really all I need right now is just a sapling. So give me a sapling, please. Can I get a sapling, please? Tough tree, yes. Wait, what? What does that mean? I just realized you guys are gonna start using all those new memes that I hate and I hear my younger brothers use all the time. That they make a lot of noise and they say it all the time and it makes me lose brain cells. something like that. Crying faces. Very nice. That's definitely what I came here for. I'm doing this because I'm bored. I'm bored, and I try to find some atheists online to talk to, but for some reason there weren't really any today, except freaking Matt Dillahunty. And to be honest, I'm not interested in talking to Matt Dillahunty. It's kind of like, I'm not gonna say that people are gonna get mad at me if I make that comparison, but but what? Mushrooms. Anyways, I should go back to the spawn point, wherever the spawn point was. Oh no, I'm stuck up here. GG's? What do you mean GG's? What happened? Did I win? What? Are you talking about me talking about Matt Dillahunty? You know, the knowing Noah guy or whatever it is. I don't know. He's always live all the time. I just don't see any point to talk to him, because he said in the past, even if God appeared to him, he wouldn't believe. So I don't really know the point. And I'm assuming all the people who watch him are also like that, which would mean it would be completely pointless to go on the stream in the first place. So a better person to debate would be someone like Alex O'Connor, because, you know, they're at least gonna listen to the evidence. No, I'm talking you not having atheists to talk to. When is the channel with your brother? Oh yes, I already made that. I just haven't posted any videos on it, but I made the channel on Christmas because I thought that'd be nifty. So I did that, and now I guess I'm just waiting. I mean, I guess what I need to do is just start being nice and divisive. Not really, but like, you know what I mean. Talking about random YouTubers. You know, there's all sorts of stupid YouTubers just talking about stuff. Alright, is it rude to call them stupid? I don't know. There's a lot of dumb stuff online. My bad. I'm a little tired. Okay. What? I heard footsteps. Alright. Anyways. What was this talking about? Oh yeah. Basically what we're gonna do is just teach crap and then reply to people online, because there's lots of people online saying everything from atheistic crap to Muslim crap to all sorts of unbiblical crap, which is, you know, that's just how that is. But anyways, I'll be able to be on YouTube and then talk to people about that stuff, and like, I don't know, complain about bad theology. I mean, it's not gonna be a bad channel by any means. It's pretty hard to find free grace YouTubers, to be honest. It's pretty hard to find free grace YouTubers. I mean, there's Odorado Demonte and Bible Line, but that's about all I can think about right now. Anyways, I have mined way too much cobblestone right now, so I'm just gonna start making, get to making some crap. Alright, we're gonna make this. Give me that piece of crap. Alright. What else? What did I want? Oh yeah. I'm also gonna need coal. So I can, you know, smelt the pork. Which, I guess is another thing, but Ugh. Hey, don't look at me like that. No. Leave me alone. Alright, ow. Oh no. Alright, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I brought the Aztec Death Pistol back in the house. How the oh no, bro! Oh no, bro. Bro, no. Bro, no. My man's a fast boy. He's got the stupid cloaker goggles. They make him like run like 50 miles an hour. I hate this crap. Oh no. Okay, I think I escaped him though. I think I'm good. I still have not found any sheep, so that means I can't sleep. What's the mods? Pretty much the same as... I don't remember the last time I did this, but don't die. Yeah, Yep, that's makes sense. I don't know. Remember what the mods are, so you'll figure out as we go, I guess. I know there's guns in here and like tech and stuff. So that's and yep and question answered. Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna keep going. To be honest, I think I should probably go to a doctor about this crap. I mean, I'm coughing so hard. I mean, it's actually really hurting. I mean, anyways, what was I doing? I don't. Is there not a cave like anywhere or at any time at all, ever? Why is there no caves? All I can find is freaking hole in the side of the wall. That's not a cave, man. That's just a hole. What happened to the other world? Did you get bored of it? Probably. I don't remember the other world very much because I switch worlds all the time. But yeah, let's just keep going. I mean, but if I stop playing a Minecraft world for even a week, I might just make a new one. That's just how it goes because I have a bad memory and I'm just like I don't remember any of this crap. This is new to me and it's fake. It's all fake. Anyways, I'm gonna eat pork because I don't know. Who cares? Yeah, what's going on? Huh? Yeah, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was making the porks. Finally, good Wi-Fi. Yes, I would say so. Um, I also got a bunch of Gatorades, and then I realized on the back it says if you recycle them, you get what like. It said it somewhere. Oh yeah, if you recycle it, you get 5 cents or 10 cents. And I want 5 cents or 10 cents or whatever it was. Like a nickel at least per bottle of Gatorade. Heck yeah, man. What country are you from? The United States. That's the country, right? Incredible deal. Yeah, so I started stocking them up because we got so much Gatorade because everyone in the house got sick and I can't drink anything else really except for like soda and I don't want to drink soda. So we got all this cherry Gatorade, Glacier Cherry. It's like a white Gatorade and it kind of tastes lightly nice, slightly nice, and it's zero sugar. And we got like a bunch of it, so I'm just storing up all the bottles inside of a trash can. And then when I'm out at wherever place I go, whenever I'm out, I can find some place that'll take them, and they'll give me a bunch of spare change. In my country, you can return any bottle for 25 cents. Dang. Either they value bottles more, or you have a really bad economy. But to be honest, I shouldn't be talking because it's like for some reason batteries a freaking a single 9-volt battery is $5. So, you know. Anyways, what's going on? Okay, the porks. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I never showed you guys. And I don't think I will because I don't have my camera. I don't got no camera going. But for Christmas, I got a bunch of coins made of silver. I got I also got a nickel and a penny. They aren't made of silver, but they're cool. We got a 1907 Indian head penny, which is around 120 years old, give or take. And we also got a nickel, which is a buffalo nickel, which means it's cool. And I also got this mercury dime, which is 10 cents, but it's from 1924, and it's made of silver, which makes it cool. And I got this quarter, from 1928. And it's also made of silver, and it's cool. And I got the half dollar from 1944, made of silver. And I also got a Morgan dollar from 1921, made of silver. And the half dollar and the dollar coin are in super good condition, probably because no one would ever use these things, because it's kind of like using a $50 bill or a $100 bill. Like, you wouldn't walk into a gas station and get a Twix for $100. Like, no, you'd use a $1 bill, which in that case would probably be a few pennies. But anyways, very cool. Yes, very much. Also, I was rambling for so long it turned to day. Sorry, I just broke your ears, but I also broke my throat. So, Oh no, there's a skeleton over there. I gotta get back to the nice utopia. Yes, it was a good gift. And since the price of silver was constantly rising, my grandparents got it for like, I think like $90, and now it's worth like $150. So that's cool. Why is bro dying in his lap? Because I'm sick. Yeah, I said that. It's because I'm sick. Anyways, I should get a good, nice place. Not bad. Yes, very nice. But this guy over here, he's very bad. He must die. I'm going to stab him with axe. Man, that sounds so weird. Alright. I'm gonna break this. To be honest, I don't like how the ground's like this. It annoys me. Anyways, we're gonna place a chest there. And a furnace there. And a crafting table there. And I'm gonna place another chest. Because that, he kind of sounds like you right now. Who does? Oh, that guy. Yeah, that. Why does that grass biome into desert look so weird? I don't know, man. Looks like a weird yin yang. I don't know. It looks like a wave. That's what it looks like. It looks like a wave. I don't like it. I want to get rid of it and turn this place into a giant industrial complex. That's what I want to do. Anyways, I made this stream so like I could talk to like atheists or Muslims or something. I don't know. And then argue with them or something. I don't know. I'm bored right now and I don't know what to do with my time. So I'm gonna. And I don't feel like drawing right now, and I'm tired, and I'm gross, and I feel sick. So I guess that's the perfect requirements and the perfect day to go argue with atheists or something. I don't know. Anyways, I do have Discord. Now you're talking to Pixel Gun players. What? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how my channel grew a bunch, is from Pixel Gun, but you know what I mean. Yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah, let's set these coordinates. So negative 3, 6, negative 2, 7. That looks good to me. Alright. Where was I going? I don't know what I'm... Oh, we go this way. We got plenty of food. Let's go explore the world. And get lots of goodies and become very rich. And then shoot everything with guns. Because that is, of course... That's the point of Minecraft, I guess. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I found this really fun a while ago. But the things I enjoy change sporadically. Good idea? What's a good idea? That I go get rich and stuff, and then I blow things up and things. Are you playing? Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing like 1.12.2. That's why the sand looks like sand, and not like ice cream or something. I don't know. Oh, that's scary. I don't want to go down there. I might break leg. Anyways, we got a desert temple here, which I feel like someone's about to just call it out in the chat right about now. Because, you know. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me, man. No one likes you. No. Alright, is that all the mobs? There's just one? I think it's all the mobs right there. Oh! Oh! I have a hard time breathing. I can't take a full breath for some reason. Maybe I should go to a doctor or something. There we go. What was he saying? On the new version, seeing a desert is like impossible. One whole skeleton. Yes, yes. Anyways, we got this pasta here, which is mine now, and the iron horse arm, and the bone, and this. I'll take the sand. Yeah, I'll take the string too. I'm taking everything out of here. Oh my god! I don't want that. It's a juggernaut. I'll take that. Some gunpowder, some of that. Rotten flesh for some reason. I guess I'll take that too. W pasta. Yes, yes, very good. And I'll take the tin and the more iron and the copper and some of that. The sand. My throat's hurting. Oh my gosh, what's this? RPD ammo. I'm not getting that either. I gotta get all the gunpowders, the copper, string, this and that. Why did you not get the gun? Because last time I got a gun out of a chest and I tried using it, it crashed my game. And then I didn't realize that, and it kept crashing my game until I figured it out. And that took a long time. And I don't want to do that again. So this time, if I see a gun just sitting in a chest, I'll make my own guns next time. What? Yeah. I get it. I didn't take the gun. I know I didn't take the gun. I didn't take the gun on purpose. Last time I took the gun, it made my day bad. All right, it wasn't good. It crashed my game over and over again because I tried to put a sniper scope on the Dragunov or whatever you call it. I tried to put a sniper scope on it. I crashed my game. Came back in. I was like, oh, that was weird. Let's do it again. Crashed my game. No, I'm talking about it crashing you. Oh. Scary gun. Yeah, it's very scary. I just threw it in the chest, and then I never touched it again. But anyways, so what was I doing? That gun is not tough. Very good, yes. Alright. I already got like quite a bit of gunpowder from that. I could get more, I guess. My throat really hurts. This sucks. I could use cough drops, but most cough drops have sugar in them. And my body doesn't take sugar very well because I haven't eaten it in like 6 years. So. Yeah. Ow. There are ones with fake sugar in them. I don't know why they need sugar in them in the first place. They're cough drops. You know what I mean? They make it so you don't cough. Like, There's it's right there. There's a little dungeon down there. Well, now you know that Chocolate Quest is in this mod. Cool. Very informative, Jerry. Yes. What was I doing? Oh my gosh, there's a farm, a barn or something. Oh no? What? Oh no. Why are there 4 people? What? Is someone gonna like come and talk to me about Christianity or something? I swear, none of you ever want to talk about Christianity. You just want to talk about Pixel Gun. Is it almost as if that's why you came to this channel? Alright, time to get rich, boys. Yeah. I don't want that. I'll take the bread and the apples. I'll take that too. I don't want that. Oh, look, a bed. I'll take that. That's very good. Why is it, I'm just watching. Okay, I guess. That is what I am wondering too. Ah. Oops, I almost fell. Farmer. Bread. Wait, bread? Oh, freak yeah, man. Give me all the breads. Oh my gosh, you gave me experience too. What's his deal? Hey, stay away from me, you little jerk. Why is there a horse? Bread. Cookies. No one likes cookies. Alright. The moment I see blood come out of my mouth when I cough is the moment the stream ends and I go to the hospital. But right now, I don't think there's any blood, so I think we're good. Evil skeleton. Yes, yes, very evil. He was just... He had a barn, man. That's evil. It's very evil. Oh my gosh, a village. We're gonna get rich, guys. There's a village. That means we're gonna get rich. Oh, yeah, there's a rich house. That's what I used to call them, rich houses. Because they're rich, and they give me stuff, and I like them. Alright, let's see what's in there. Oh my gosh, we got this man here. Cartographer. Cartographer. What we got here? We got some book. I don't want your book. Alright. Oh my gosh, man. It's turning night. We gotta go fast. Iron blocks, 1 gunpowder, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Do I care about gold? Yes, I do care about gold too. Yeah. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, where's this guy? This cartographer? No one cares about cartographers. All they do is give paper and stuff. I don't care about paper. Stupid paper. Alright. I'm gonna sleep. There we go. My throat hurts. As if I haven't said that already, but let's go this way. Not this way. Alright. For some reason I decided to hit the counter. And that hurt, and now I hurt my hand, too. That kind of reminds me of when I was wearing a wrist cast for some reason. There was something wrong with my wrist. So I put on a wrist cast. I'm not wearing the wrist cast anymore. I only had to wear it a few times to bed, and then the wrist pain went away. That's pretty nice. Oh, yes. Yes, this is very good. This, guys, this is the true meaning of life right here. Oh, yes. That's what I got. Yes, very nice, very nice. Please don't die on us. No, if I'm gonna die somewhere else, man. Anyways, let's go over here. Alright, what we got, boys? What we got? Read. Huh? Why do you have everything capped at 60 FPS? Bro. There's no way you could tell that this is just 60 FPS. My eyes can't tell the difference between 60 and 1,000, alright? It's this, it might as well be the same for me. Is 60 FPS supposed to be bad? I mean, to be honest, I think 30 FPS is acceptable. Probably because I used to play a lot of Minecraft with a really bad computer, so I turned the I was used to lag. But, you know, well, 60 FPS is pretty easy to spot. How is that possible? It looks perfectly fine. Oh my gosh. You guys have way too high a standard. Alright. Oh. I want that. That's a thing I want. There we go. Yeah, it's coming with me. Not saying it's bad, just saying, what's your monitor's refresh rate? Don't even know. All I know is I've had the same monitor for about maybe 13 years. And sometimes it'll turn off if you accidentally touch the back too hard. So you gotta keep like a cup and some pill bottles under it, so it'll keep the cord in correctly. Suffice to say, this monitor's on life support, is basically what I'm saying. You can get see FPS in F3 menu. Yep, 60 FPS. Yada yada yada. I don't see the difference between that and 120. But my brother always convinces me that I should go to 120, even though I don't see a difference. Seems like just a waste of time in my opinion. How's your monitor even alive? I don't know, bro. I mean, my brother got a monitor, this like curved monitor for like Christmas or something, and it got hit by one Nerf dart and immediately broke. And this thing's been alive for this thing's been alive for some longer than some of my siblings, bro. This thing's gonna outlive me. Expensive PC with life support monitor. Hello, Funson. Basum, Bubsum. Hello. Yes, hi. We're just talking about my life support monitor. I remember there was a time I couldn't get the monitor to turn on because the cord was messed up. So I just stacked up some pill bottles against it until it was the right height, and then it would stay on. Oh, my throat. I'm gonna drink some Gatorade now. Maybe that'll soothe my burning throat. Very nice. Ooh. Now what could this be? A lot of freaking wood, that's what it is. You okay, brother? Yeah. No, actually. My throat was hurt pretty bad. But I am alive. And I'm probably not going to die, so we'll be fine. Don't worry. If I cough up blood, then I'll go to the doctor. But I don't think I need to go to the doctor with just coughing. Could be that bad. Huh? What? Your throat is cooked? Probably, yeah. It's probably not that bad. I mean, we go to the ER way too much. I remember I went to the ER once because I had a fever. What a waste of time. You do what you want, but I'm just gonna... As for me, I'm not gonna go to the doctor because of a fever. That felt like a waste of time. I mean, at the time, I thought I needed to go to the emergency room, but I felt like it... But afterwards, I was just like, wow, that was a huge waste of money. Going to the doctor just being sick is a waste of time. Yes, yes, yes. Most illnesses you can treat pretty easily. Or you can just do nothing and they'll go away in a few weeks. Or you can just use some cough syrup or something, whatever it is. Cough syrup. Oh, that's what I should be using. Cough syrup, so I stop coughing. Anyways, what was I doing in this desert? There's someone in here. Something good. How expensive is going to a doctor for you? Considering I don't have insurance, probably pretty expensive. However, my parents have insurance. So, guess that doesn't matter. I don't know how much it costs them. I know it costs them way too much money. Just for me to go in there and be like, and then tell me, oh yeah, you have a cold. I mean, I don't feel like that's a standard expensive ordeal, but I don't know. Maybe they think it's expensive or something. Honestly, I feel like hospitals are just scams. I feel like that. Anyways, what are we doing? A waste of time is the least thing you gotta worry about when you go to the hospital in this hyperinflated, materialistic age. I don't know what you're talking about. Were you the... Hold on. Bassam Abu Bassam? Which guy were you again? I don't remember. I'm starting... I think... Were you the... I don't... I don't know. I mean, which guy were you? Why do you even need to pay for that in the U.S.? I don't know. Okay, I thought you were the Muslim guy. Yeah, I thought you were the Muslim guy. Okay, cool. Do you want to talk about stuff and getting a call and stuff? I don't remember exactly what we talked about last time. But yeah, I remember you were the Muslim guy who was insanely good at pick Battle Royale for some reason. Unless there's multiple Muslim guys. But I remember I talked to a Muslim guy and he was way too good at Battle Royale. I guess Battle Royale is different from the rest of the game, though. Alright, what was in here? I had place this point. Wait, did I see lead? Did my eyes see lead? No. Oh, frick no. There's baby zombies in there, man. Heck nah, man. I'm not dealing with that crap. Where even am I, anyway? No, dude. That's certainly not me. I sucked at Battle Royale games. Oh, okay. Okay, that means there's different Muslims. Different Muslims. Yeah, let me get on Discord. Perhaps we can call. Alright, cool. Okay. I guess that's what I came here for, anyway. I guess the other guy, there was this other guy, and he always did this thing where he jumped over the fence inside of Battle Royale in the city to get to the legendary chest or whatever it was. And then I started doing that because I realized, wow, that's a good idea. Did I go to bed? Oh, yeah. Okay. You're... Hold on. You're in my server, right? My little server. I'm just gonna join the little thing, if I can ever find my server, because it's been like 500 years. I'll just go in there. There we go. Now I know I don't really want Master Jerry to join. I know he's gonna anyway. Wait, is that what happened, or was that Yet who was playing all the stuff? RJ is pretty efficient for the movement in Battle Royale. RJ, I don't know what that is. And what do you mean, movement? Okay. Kind of reminds me of how incredibly useless, the cars were in Battle Royale. I mean, the cars were just a ploy to get people to get in them, just so you could shoot them. I mean, that was about it. Rocket jump. Oh, yes. Rocket jump makes it harder for you to shoot the people, so stay away from me. Alright, I'm in the thing. Oh, I just realized anyone's gonna be able to join at any second and immediately make me scream. Are you in the hold on, Muslim guy, are you in the my Discord server, the Fun Sun server thing? You know, the one I haven't went in like 8 months because I haven't played very much. Ah! I knew it was. Hello?
Yeah, how are you doing, man?
Oh, hi. Hold on, I need to turn this up. How do I turn this up? I know there's a dial. Hold on. Hello?
Hello, man. How are you doing?
I'm streaming and playing Minecraft.
Yeah,
Yes.
very fun, I guess.
I mean, yes. I got not. This isn't really that fun. I guess I'm just doing this because I have
It actually,
not much else to do. What?
dude, I don't understand. Why don't you make your own creative world and build in it like the cities, you know?
Build
Why don't
cities?
you build cities over in the creative world? Yeah,
I I
it's
have
awesome.
I have no desire to do that, I guess.
That's good. That's a good argument.
Um. Anyways, we were talking about Islam or something or what or
If you want to,
okay then.
you know, if you want to.
So why do you believe Islam or whatever it was?
Well, if you want to ask why do we believe something, uh, uh, let's say as a Christian, why do you believe as for being Christian? How do you believe as a Christian? You know? What's your source of belief?
Oh, but you're saying why I believe or how I believe?
Why do you believe? Let's say, why do you believe?
Okay, the evidence, I guess.
Yeah, what type of evidence?
Typology.
Typology evidence.
Yes.
Uh-huh. You see, my friend, the problem with typology sometimes is that it's quite ambiguous, you know?
Ambiguous.
Like yeah, for example, what were they called? The Latter-day Saints. You know, they believe in typology for Joseph Smith as well. You know, how do you refute them?
What typology? I haven't heard of this.
Wait, let me bring an example, because I
There.
don't remember any of these.
I don't know why typology would be about Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith isn't God. You know.
What? Wait, one second. What do you mean typology?
You know, like New Testament theology hidden in the Old Testament.
Uh-huh. Give me an example.
Like Abraham and Isaac. You know.
Yeah, this typology. You're saying that basically that Isaac was supposed to be the sheep that he takes away the sins. Not takes away the sins, but he's
Um,
the sheep, you know? He was the
he's a known as a type of Christ, basically.
uh-huh.
Basically, he's
So but
a partial representation of Jesus. He does some things that Jesus did back then to put a little piece in the puzzle, and there's multiple pieces throughout typology. And if you put them all together, you get a pretty good, accurate depiction of Jesus, basically. Though a single one
okay,
is pretty interesting on its own.
it is true. Yeah, it is true. However, let me give you this. So, you know how when Joseph's brothers, when they came to him at the end of the book of, not the end of book of Genesis, you know, almost the beginning. Actually, it was the end, I think, to my memory. Yeah, when Joseph's brothers, they came to him, you know, and then Judah started talking about what happened to them, you know, all that stuff. At the end, Joseph said, "Ani Yosef," you know, in Hebrew, you know, he claimed, I'm Joseph," and he forgave them, you know.
Okay.
Interestingly, yes, why am I going this topic? You know, if you want to use typology, the problem is, a prophet on him be peace, our prophet Muhammad, at the end of when he at the end of his reign, you know, when he came back to Mecca, he used this typology. He used this typology. He said, he told the Meccans who tortured him, who tortured his followers, who did terrible things to him, throughout 10 years. You know, 10 years of boycotting, 10 years of punishment. You know, at the end of it, he used the typology of Joseph. You know, he said, I forgive you. Antum al you are free. You know, the people who tortured him. So this could be another typology, if because typology is quite ambiguous. It's not a strong argument. You understand me?
I disagree.
Okay, how do you refute this? How do you refute this typology of the Prophet of
So
Islam?
you're saying that there's typology, or you're saying if typology is true, then you could say there's typology of anything you want to teach, which would include, say,
Of Trump,
Muhammad. That's what you're
of
saying, right?
Donald Trump, yes.
Donald Trump.
Yes, not ju- yeah, you can find a typology of Donald Trump, you know, eventually.
Uh, well, anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Uh, what? Wait. Oh yeah. I don't think that's a strong connection anyway.
Why is it not a strong connection?
Well, it's I don't know. I don't really see it as any kind of evidence. I mean, Muhammad came much after Joseph, and Muhammad. It's kind of Muhammad could easily have just did that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Well, Jesus could have did that on purpose because he came after Isaac,
Not really.
right?
No. No, not really. The reason for that is
Why not?
because of all the specifics of of all the typology. It's just way too specific. Like for example, just with the typology of Isaac, he is Isaac is sacrificed. Well, almost sacrificed. He wasn't sacrificed, but he was almost sacrificed after carrying what he would be sacrificed on, a piece of wood, up a mountain in the region of Moriah, in a very specific mountain that God tells Abraham to go onto, a specific mountain, with his son Isaac carrying a piece of wood on him, and he brings it up, and Isaac is laid on the wood. Isaac does not get sacrificed because God tells them to stop, and then it is said that on the mount of the Lord it will be provided. What could this be talking about? On the mount of the Lord it will be provided. What is this it could be talking about that matches those characteristics?
Which chapter is this?
Alright, let me go look it up. Hey, this is kind of convenient. It'll show up my computer. I don't know. Hold on. On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. Okay, where's Bible Gateway? 22, like 14? Alright. Should be somewhere here. Hold on. On the
Yeah,
mount
yeah,
of the
I see
Lord
it.
it will be provided. It's 22:14. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said unto today, on the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. It's King James Version. On the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And in the NIV, if I can find it anyway. Where's
On my NRSV, it's saying, "On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided," exactly as you quoted it.
on the mount of the Lord it shall be provided, or it will be provided. Yeah. So what were you talking about, or
Yeah, what shall be provided?
well, it says it shall be provided, which it's likely talking about a lamb of some sort, because it said that God would provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son, and then God provided a ram instead, which obviously means we're missing a lamb, which means some form of lamb is going to be provided. And in the Gospel of Matthew, hold on, what was it? Jesus.
Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away
Yeah,
the sins of the world.
yeah. Behold
This
the
is in
Lamb
John.
of God. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with this, you said this is specific. Well, I could argue that Isaac himself was not killed. You know.
Yes,
So
Isaac was
are
not
you
killed.
saying, yeah? So this is not specific. You know, could be
No,
argued it's
it's
also not
pretty
specific. It's not
specific.
exactly.
Listen, Isaac was not supposed to be killed there. It was obvious. Uh, it was obvious um, that Isaac was not supposed to be killed here. It's being fulfilled in Jesus. It's not that it has to be all the same, because if it was all the same, it would be a lot more obvious if you think about it. It would be more obvious if everything was made the same, and then people would be
Excellent.
able to see it.
Excellent. Same goes with the typology of him reaching Mecca and forgiving his the people who betrayed him
The
or the
pro
people who punished him, tortured him.
the problem with that
You
is
know?
that is just a biblical teaching to forgive people, and honestly, that's not strong enough for that. There has to be some sort of balance that it's strong enough but not too strong so people could see it later and try to mimic it or try to fulfill it on their own. This is just vague enough for it to be difficult to mimic and also just strong enough to be a good piece of evidence. Plus, this is one piece of typology.
Yeah, I personally did not look far into typologies,
You what?
all that stuff, unfortunately.
You what did you
Personally, I do
say?
not look into
You
I do
don't?
not look into typologies.
You haven't looked into it?
Uh, no, like trying to connect typologies. I did not do that
You don't do
yet.
that?
But yeah, because I don't see it as a really strong argument. Usually they quote to me Isaiah 53, you know?
I'm not talking about Isaiah 53.
You're not talking about it right now. You're talking about typologies.
Yes.
Yeah, well, how do I say this? Uh, why couldn't the give me another typology? Let me see another typology.
You want to see
What do you
another
also
one?
have?
Okay, I guess
Yes.
the typology of Joseph is pretty good too. Basically, you've heard the story of Joseph of Egypt, right?
Yeah, I read it.
All right. So basically, um, Joseph he's sold for a certain amount of silver to Egyptian slaves, the slavery people, and he becomes a slave, and he eventually works his way up to being uh, in good standing with Potiphar, I think this slave master, and then eventually he gets accused of a crime he didn't commit, and eventually put in jail for a crime he didn't commit. And when he's in jail, he's with two criminals beside in his in with him, and they have dreams. And Joseph, one of the things he does is he interprets dreams. That's one of his gifts. He interprets dreams, and he interprets their dreams, and it gives them meaning. So let's go and Joseph interprets dreams and
No, I see what you're
interprets.
pointing out. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly the verses you're talking about. You don't need to look it up.
No, I
The
don't
thing
worry
is,
about
my
it.
friend, the problem with this.
You haven't heard it all
Yeah,
yet.
okay. Uh, what's
Anyways,
up?
you haven't heard it all yet.
I've read it.
You
I've read it
haven't.
in Hebrew.
You read it in Hebrew, but can I explain it?
Go ahead.
Because a lot of people read it and they don't understand it. Anyway, English Standard Version. No, get that. So, yeah, go for KJV. Anyways, and it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord and the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against his two officers, and against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers, and put them in the ward of the house of the captain in prison. Uh, and the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season in ward. They dreamed a dream, both of them, each man in one night, each according to the interpretation of his dream. The butler and the baker of the king of Egypt were bound in the prison, and Joseph came in at the morning, looked unto them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers which were with him, the Lord saying, wherefore ye look so sadly to this day? We have dreamed a dream, there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine there were 3 branches, and it was though it had budded, and blossomed shot forth, and clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. I took the grapes and pressed them in the Pharaoh's cup, and gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said, unto him, this is an interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee to thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, and the former manner when thou wast his butler. So basically, the interpretation of the dream is that in 3 days you're going to be lifted up, you're going to be restored to your master. Now notice this. There's one of them which is about wine from grapes. The other one is about bread and wine. And something to do with 3 days, which is kind of interesting. Another thing that's interesting is the baker. I also had a dream. I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was manners of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days Pharaoh shall lift thy head off thee, and hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came past the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butler again, and gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker as Joseph interpreted to them. Yet did the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. Basically, one of the prisoners who were condemned, they committed some sin, and they were put in prison. One of them was restored to his master. He was forgiven and brought back up. He was lifted up and restored to his master. And the other one was lifted up and hung on a tree. It says, shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh off from thee. So that's kind of interesting. One of them is killed, and the other one is saved and forgiven. Kind of like with the thieves on the cross. One of them was condemned, and one of them was saved and went up to heaven with Jesus. It's also pretty interesting. Jesus was also lifted up in both those ways. He was lifted up and restored to God, restored to the Father, and he was also lifted up on the cross, which is kind of interesting. Shall hang thee on a tree. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't say they were hanging from their neck. It seems to say just shall hang thee on a tree, which is kind of vague to, keep it open to any possible kind of hanging, which could include crucifixion, it seems. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's also what was it? Oh yeah, Joseph ends up being taken out of prison and becoming the right hand of Pharaoh, which is kind of similar to Jesus sitting down at the right hand of the Father. But that's just kind of how that is back when Egypt was a good nation. Back when Joseph was a ruler in there. But anyways, what were you gonna say something, or?
The problem with this, you see, the problem with this is that there are 2 things that could be problematic here. Number 1 is that you assume every single story in the Old Testament will probably be a how do you call it, a typology. So Jeremiah could be a typology. Any other prophet can be a typology, right?
I mean, the New Testament does support a lot of these things.
In what sense?
I guess I can show you. Oh, somewhere in here. I think like Romans 5. It should be somewhere around here. There it is, right here. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them who had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is a figure of him that was to come. Which is talking about Jesus, and who is, and that's talking about Adam. So Adam is a type of Christ. So that's kind of interesting. So apparently Paul knew a little bit about typology, and Jesus also preached a little bit about typology when he talks about Jonah and talks about the serpent on the stick. Everyone looks to the serpent or is saved. You know, kind of like when
Yeah, he's healed. Yeah.
yeah, Jesus talked about that too. Like uh, as the serpent was lifted up. There we go. Right about here. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. It's actually right before this gospel verse. It says, whoever believes in Jesus will be saved. So that's nice. And it also talks about Jonah. As Jonah was in the belly of the whale. For as Jonas, well, oh, it's weird. Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. I'm gonna drink some Gatorade now.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone
Uh,
left the
uh,
stream.
let's say we can ground that. There's another problem that could arise, which is that how do you know that the New
What?
Testament authors did not make a Jesus into these typologies?
Did not make Jesus into the. What are you saying?
Yeah, basically, what makes you argue that the New Testament authors did not write Jesus into these typologies? Like, for example,
Wait,
uh,
why do you believe
the
Jesus? Why do you believe the New Testament writers wrote Jesus into it?
I'm just saying, from your perspective, like, I'm personally, as a Muslim, I grant some of the Bible. I grant some of the Bible because I'm a Muslim. You know, but you, like, you don't grant the Bible. You must get a reason to believe in the Bible. You know.
I just gave it.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
hold
saying
on.
the problem with
Why?
typology as well, though. What makes you
So,
go ahead?
why are you resorting to saying that the New Testament writers could have just written this in? You saying that makes me
I'm just
think.
asking you.
Listen, sorry. You saying that makes me think that you see this as a convincing case. So it must be that it was written in by the New Testament authors. You know?
I'm not saying it's a convincing case. I actually find it
If it's not convincing, then why do you have to say
uh,
that the New Testament authors just kind of read it into Jesus?
because I found it hard to argue with you.
Hard to argue with me. Well, historians, even atheist ones, do believe that Jesus was crucified under Romans, and people believed he rose from the dead. But they obviously don't believe he rose from the dead because that's supernatural. But they believe that Jesus was crucified. So the New Testament authors couldn't have written that in, um, obviously. But you know, and then even with
Okay, the
just
crucifixion.
even with just that and the surrounding stuff, you can put together a case. Like let's get this together. Who in history? We got a random person. We don't know who it is. Who in history was lifted up on something that people would look towards, and not just that. Who in history held a piece of wood on their back up a mountain, who they would later be sacrificed on, and also who in history, in typology of Adam, who in history um, had what was the typology of Adam again? Hold on. Alright, what was it? I kind of remember. Hold on. Genesis 1. There we go. Should be around here, actually. I mean, actually, there's actually a gospel typology in here, too. I wonder exactly where it is. Let's go to the next one. Actually, it should be number 3. There we go. What do they do? Alright. Basically, in the Garden of Eden, the tree of knowledge and good and evil gives you knowledge of good and evil. And Romans 5 says if you don't have any knowledge of good and evil, then you can't be committed of sin. However, as soon as they get knowledge of good and evil, they cover themselves with leaves. And then God gets rid of that and covers them with skins, which is interesting. Their leaves would here represent their own righteousness, and the skins from an animal would represent God's righteousness, which is kind of interesting. But there's also the fact that in when Adam and Eve were created, Eve was taken out of Adam's side, which is kind of interesting because Jesus, when he was on the cross, was pierced in the side, and the church actually came from the crucifixion. It's kind of interesting. Man and woman are created. This might be what created in God's image actually means, potentially. That Adam represents Jesus, Eve represents the church. As in, any man represents Jesus, and the woman represents the church. Kind of like we, as Christians, are the church. But that's just some stuff. But basically, what I could do, if I could spend a bunch of time getting up all the typology and sewing all the typology together. And it's kind of like, you could think of it like a postcard. You just write some stuff down on it, kind of like with Expedition Bible. He talked about it. He writes down some stuff. You write down some stuff on a card. You don't need to write down very much information for it to get to a very specific person in the world. So basically what you can do is get all of the typological stuff from here and write it down on a postcard, and you send it out. It's going to go to Jesus, obviously, metaphorically. Kind of like if I write down, if I'm trying to send some mail to someone, I just got to write down their address. Their address is pretty short and concise. It's pretty simple, and it's kind of simple with Jesus too. You don't really need a lot of evidence, but there is a lot of evidence. There's a ton of it, actually. But you don't need a super high standard of evidence anyway in order to figure out it's talking about Jesus. But was there's another typology somewhere else? Well.
Now, about at the beginning, you mentioned who in history carried his cross, who in history placed his cross, right? That's what you said.
Not exactly. There were a few different things. But, if you put together all the stuff from all of the typology, you end up with a lot of details that are specific. Like, for example, being hung on wood that they would carry. That could be anyone. That narrows it down to anyone who's been crucified, which would also apply to the thieves on the cross, as they're called. But you add one more detail in there. People look to him. Okay, that's a little bit more specific. You could argue that people would look up at the people on the cross, even if it wasn't Jesus. You could argue that too if you wanted. In a place in Mount Moriah. Okay, that's a little different. That's still in the realm of... It's that, with all that information, it's already down to 3 people. Jesus, the thief on the left, or the thief on the right. It has to be one of those 3 people. You add in a little more, being stabbed in the side. Okay, that was Jesus. now you know. Now you know it's just kind of like a game of guess who, I suppose. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. But you know, there's some stuff in my mouse. But yeah, it's a game of guess who. That's an interesting argument. I think I might sew that together on a piece of paper and then throw it into a paper airplane and throw it some random direction on a windy day and see if some random person finds it. But yeah. Oh, you gonna say some more stuff or?
Yeah, I was gonna say that if it was only being crucified, you got the two people that were crucified beside Jesus. Matter of fact, one of them being Jesus Barabbas. Anyway, uh, what's it called? While you were speaking, I thought about this. Uh, Now, in the Old Testament, Moses, he can be the one who's like Prophet Muhammad on him be peace. He could be the one who is being his typology. Because first of all, Moses was born among oppressors. Muhammad was
Huh?
also born among oppressors.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What's up? Yeah, I'm talking about typology for the Prophet of Islam.
I don't understand. What was the connection you were saying? I didn't get it.
Yeah, Moses and the Prophet of Islam
What
on him
about
be
them?
peace. Yeah, for example, Moses was mocked. Moses was uh, what's it called? Moses was born among idolaters. Sorry, was being
You're cutting out.
oppressed. You know, he then establishes a community, establishes a law. I'm cutting out.
Yeah, a
I
little
switch.
bit. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you. I
can you
can
hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Yeah.
I switched to my mobile data. Anyway, yeah, both of them established the law. Both of them established the law in a great way. Both of them received the book from God. Could this be a typology as well?
Not really. It just doesn't seem nearly as specific. I mean, there's like for example, some of those tinier things, like being born uh amongst pagans or idolaters. That's pretty common in the Old Testament. Um, and in fact, even Israel was falling into idolatry over and over again. Being oppressed, that's pretty much almost everyone in the Bible. What was the other one? There was another one you said. What was it? Yeah, what was the other one you said? Oh yeah, giving a law.
Giving a law.
I mean, yeah, Moses. Yeah. Um, I mean, did Muhammad give a law? I mean, I guess he gave laws, but they were kind of weird ones. But
He gave a huge law.
what was it?
Interestingly, Deuteronomy 18:18 is a famous one. The Muslims quote. You know, Moses. What does he say? He says, "I will send a prophet among you like him. Among your brothers like him. Like you. Like you means Moses because God is speaking to Moses. You know.
Hold on, let me look at
Interesting in
this.
Hebrew. Yes, in Hebrew
18.
it's Navi Aqim Lahem
Hold on, sorry.
Libin Achihem.
The nations will listen to you, listen to those who practice sorcery or divination. But as for you, the Lord your God has not permitted you to do so. The Lord will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him, for this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of assembly. You said, Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, or we will die. The Lord said to me, What they say is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites. I will put my words in his mouth. I will tell them everything I commanded him. I myself will call to account anyone who does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name. But a prophet who presumes to speak in the name of anything I have not commanded, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, is to be put to death. You may say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken presumptuously, so do not be alarmed. Okay. So what's about
Excellent,
Muhammad here?
excellent, beautiful. What you just read is him saying, okay, let's read the context. First of all, God is gonna set up a prophet, you know, set up a prophet. He's gonna put his words in the mouth of the prophet,
Yep,
you know.
that's pretty much with every prophet. Yeah, that's what makes them a prophet.
Okay, that's one. That's two. Number three. Number three is that what's it called? Uh, he will speak things about the future that will happen. Okay, that's one. He will not
Where does
speak in the name of other God.
where does it say that?
You just read it.
No, the
One second.
thing before that. You were saying he was something about the future.
Yeah, he will say prophecies. You know, he'll make prophecies. Look at verse 20.
20. But a prophet who presumes to speak in my name, anything I have not commanded, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, is to be put to death. You're saying that's about Muhammad?
Okay, keep reading it.
Yeah, that was 20.
I guess read the next verse.
You may say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet
Excellent.
proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is, a message the Lord has not spoken. That prophet has spoken presumptuously, so do not be alarmed.
Yeah, excellent. You see here, what's the criterion that he set? If the prophet says something and if the prophet prophesies something and it did happen, then he's a message from the Lord. If it didn't happen, it's not a message from the Lord, right?
Okay. How does this talk about Muhammad,
Yes,
though?
yes. One second. If you look into the first narration in the book of Muslim, book of Muslim, it's the
Book of
collection of
Muslim.
prophetic narration, prophetic narrations. You know, it's almost like the Gospels of Islam. He says the Prophet Muhammad peace he says he was asked, how do you know what are the signs of the hour? The hour, just as Jesus was asked, what are the signs of the hour? You know, he said this. He said that the maiden uh, gives birth to her master, and then he said after that, and then you'll see the naked, al-hufal ura, you will see the naked, the barefoot, you know, competing in tall buildings, and in another narration, he says the Arabs competing in tall buildings. I mean, let's look at this. Where are the tall buildings now? Where are the tallest buildings now?
Um, what?
Yeah, focus with me here. I'm saying,
I'm
am I,
trying to
is my voice
focus.
cutting?
I don't really see anything.
Yeah. Is my voice cutting?
No, your voice isn't cutting. I don't know what you're saying. I guess.
Yeah. Let me just explain myself again. In a prophetic narration, the prophet was asked, how do you know the sign of the hour? Similar to Jesus, when he was speaking of the hour. He said, when the maiden gives birth to her master, sorry, when the maiden gives birth to her master, and when you see the uh, the naked, the barefoot, competing in high buildings, you know. In another narration, it says the Arabs competing in tall buildings, you know. And where are the tall buildings now? There's even a Burj in Jeddah. There's even a tower in Jeddah being built now. Jeddah is Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, is being built now, and it's being aimed higher than Burj Al Khalifa. You know.
Um,
So this is interesting prophecy, and it happened. It
I,
happened
I
literally in our eyes.
listen here. That doesn't make very much sense because anyone could just build a higher building in order to try to fulfill the prophecy. This isn't a very specific prophecy. that people will build high buildings. People have been building high buildings for a very long time. I mean, I don't.
Competing in tall buildings, this is specific. When you say that the Arabs, the ones, I mean, it's interesting. Why is it interesting? Why is it specific also? Because these, the Arabs, they're Bedouins. They just keep moving from place to another place. They don't set. They don't settle anywhere. And now they're building tall buildings. This is ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. Now they're competing in tall, not just building. They're competing in tall buildings. It's ridiculous. You get me?
I do not understand how this is evidence for Muhammad or whatever. And how does this tie back to Deuteronomy 18?
Yeah, he's saying if the prophet prophesies something and it happens, it's a message that the Lord has sent. If it doesn't happen, it's a message that the Lord did not send.
Well,
You know?
actually, it just seems to say the question was, how do we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? And it says, if a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is the message the Lord has not spoken. It doesn't say it the other way around. It just says if something does not come true, that means the prophet has spoken presumptuously. So, I mean, I guess I'll take a screenshot of that for later, but I don't understand how this is talking about Muhammad at all. It's not saying if it doesn't seem to be saying if a true thing, even if a true thing is prophesied, that's a prophet from the Lord, because it's not saying that. It's saying that if a prophet proclaims something in the name of the Lord and it does not take place, that's a message the Lord hasn't spoken. I mean, that's what it's saying. I mean, unless I'm not.
Have you taken a course in logic?
Huh?
Have you taken a course in logic?
A course in logic?
Yeah.
I guess not. I didn't know that was a class. I mean,
Yeah. Basically, if this thing, if this thing is false, then the opposite is true.
it doesn't say that though.
Okay, granted.
It just
Granted, doesn't say that.
It just says, what if what a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken. And the question was, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? That it wasn't saying how can we know that a message has been spoken but has not been spoken. I don't think that's what it's saying.
Okay. So fundamentally, if someone preaches something about the Lord, it's true, and when he prophesies and it turns out to be false, it's not true. But fundamentally, it's always true. That's how you want to understand the text?
Hold on, what are you saying?
I'm saying that fundamentally, if someone preaches something about the Lord, says something about the Lord in the name of God, the God of Israel, if he preaches something about him, it's true, unless his prophecy, if he prophesies and it turns out to be false, right?
What? I'm kind of confused. What are you trying to say?
You tried to argue to me that the text does not say that if he prophesies something and it's true, it means he's a prophet from the Lord, right?
Yeah, it's not what it's saying. That's not what the
Okay.
question was, and that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about how we can
Okay.
know that a message has not been spoken by the Lord.
Understand you. So the Deuteronomy here is trying to say that every message, is spoken by the Lord, unless a prophecy has been made and this prophecy is false, right?
Hold on, can you say that again? I got kind of confused. What did you say?
Problem is, I sometimes read the books of philosophy. I sometimes throw around the words are sometimes hard to understand, and I sometimes get into them. Anyway, I'm trying to say that you're trying to say here that if someone says something in the name of the Lord, it's accepted. If he says something in the name of the Lord, it's accepted,
No.
unless
No, it's not. That's not what the
then
text
read
is
it.
saying.
What is the text saying?
It's saying how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? It's not talking about how we can know one is spoken by the Lord. It's just talking about how we can know one is not spoken by the Lord. And if the prophet proclaims something that doesn't come true, then the Lord didn't speak of that.
Okay, how do you know something is spoken by the Lord?
Spoken by the Lord? Hmm. This is a few different things, few different criteria. It has to not contradict previous scriptures, and it also has to come true.
Where did you get that from?
Where'd I get what from?
That argument, it does not have to contradict the previous scriptures, and does not, if it says something, it must be true.
Oh, well, it can't contradict previous scriptures, obviously.
Okay, 1 second. Let me ask you this question: why do you believe in the Old Testament?
The Old Testament, because
Yes,
I guess.
you know Jesus is true because of the Old Testament. So this is circular argument.
Um, no. The Old Testament's older than the New Testament. The Old Testament prophesies of Jesus. I accept Jesus, therefore I accept the Old Testament. I didn't already believe the Old Testament. I just saw the Old Testament. You can just see the Old Testament as an older book, which would then prove Jesus, which would then prove that all of the scriptures is true. I wasn't starting out believing the Old Testament's true. You just start out with believing it's a book. You can start out believing it's a historical book. You can believe it's mythology. If it predicts the future and predicts Jesus coming, that proves Jesus and then therefore proves the Old Testament.
You see here, you use the same thing with a prophecy. You use the same thing with a prophecy that happened to be true.
What do you mean?
Like when I used the prophecy, you said this is not enough, you know.
No, I didn't
And
say
when
it's
you and
not
now you're
enough.
using the prophecy.
I said that's not a good prophecy. I didn't say it.
Okay, you're saying that's not a good prophecy. Why is it not a good prophecy?
Um, because Muhammad said it, that the hour will come when people are building big buildings. I suppose if Muslims want the end to come, they'll just build big buildings. That's something that can be fulfilled by
Okay, I
anyone.
suppose.
Like literally,
Okay, I suppose.
I could go in Arabia and build a giant building, and that doesn't prove his prophecy. That just proves that I'm trying to fulfill it.
Okay, I suppose Jesus tried to fulfill the Old Testament.
Yes, he purposely did that in ways that no one could predict. And he predicted them because he was God.
What do you mean? No ways no one could predict.
No one could have predicted back no one except God, all the way back in the Old Testament, that someone was going to be hung on a tree, um, like that. Like no one who would have possibly predicted crucifixion without God before crucifixion existed, like up to 1,000 years before.
Crucifixion was there before Jesus.
No, not. I mean, maybe before Jesus was around, but like not that long. Like the what was it? Rome only was it Rome? Yeah, Roman crucifixion. Roman crucifixion. I guess I can just search up when did Roman crucifixion begin? 3rd century BCE. So about 300 years before Christ is when they started using crucifixion. And the Old Testament, roughly over over 1,000 years from 1400 BCE to 400 BCE for the newest book and for the oldest book. So that would be 1,100 years before crucifixion was a thing. So, yeah.
Are you saying the Old Testament predicted crucifixion before crucifixion even existed?
Um, yes. What do you think I'm saying?
That'd be ridiculous.
What do you mean that's ridiculous?
Because because the Old Testament. I mean, how can how can it predict crucifixion? Even though crucifixion, the Roman crucifixion, the one with the two sides, the cross, you know, how could it predict that if it didn't exist back then?
Because God predicted it. What do you mean? How? Did you forget you're a theist?
Dude, I don't have a problem with I'm a theist. Yes, I agree. But I'm just asking. I'm seeing your position. Like your position seems to be really really weak. You know.
No, I don't think so. No, it's definitely not weak.
Okay, so here's the argument. You're saying that anyone could fulfill prophecy just by seeing it. Because he saw the
No.
prophecy and he will believe it. So not just like sorry, not that way. Muhammad's case. Let's look at Muhammad on him be peace's case. We give you a prophecy. You said anyone could have fulfilled it. They said, actually, guys, let's build the buildings. Because it will be closer to the hour. Granted, okay. But let's look at the Jesus case. Jesus could have done the same. He would have said, I've seen these things in the Old Testament. Let me try and replicate them and try to make myself into a Messiah, a prophet, whatever.
I thought you believed Jesus was the Messiah, though.
Dude, this is for the sake of the argument. I believe
Oh,
Jesus is the Messiah, but I'm
okay.
saying for the sake of the argument.
So you're saying Jesus just so happened to be... Wait, are you saying Jesus invented crucifixion?
I'm not saying Jesus invented crucifixion. I'm saying that why couldn't have Jesus seen things in the New Old Testament and try to replicate them, and fulfill the
Because
prophecies?
if Jesus... Well, if theoretically Jesus was just a random person, then he would have to fulfill certain prophecies that he couldn't possibly fulfill. Like being born
Like,
in Bethlehem. How would he make sure he's born in Bethlehem?
well, he was lucky he was born in Bethlehem.
So you saying he was
He's-
just really lucky. He was born in Bethlehem, of an
a
immaculate
thou-
conception, and
100,000 people
he
get born
just
in
so
Bethlehem every
happened to
year.
be born right next to this area, and he just so happened to be born at the perfect time for crucifixion to exist. And he just so happened to read the Bible in a specific way and be like, oh, I can just, I can do this. That seems a little unlikely, man.
That is very likely because Bethlehem, the place itself was a Jewish place. First of all, it was Jewish, so
Yeah.
people used to read the Bible. It was a Jewish community over there, even in the first place. You know, 1,000 people get born. 1,000 people get born on a monthly basis. And it was a Jewish community in the first place. So it's their tradition to believe in this. You know, so it's actually very likely. It's
No,
actually
not
quite very
really.
likely.
No. If it's so likely, then why weren't there multiple people in Jesus' time trying to do
There
the
were
exact same?
in Jesus Barabbas
Huh?
in Matthew.
Who?
Jesus Barabbas in Matthew.
Jesus
It was
Barabbas?
said, yeah, Barabbas,
Okay.
Barabbas
What? Where in Matthew?
in Matthew.
I know it's in Matthew. You said it was in Matthew. Where in Matthew?
1 second. It's in the crucifixion in the final stage. When Pilate asked them to choose someone to bring out of the jail.
Oh, you're talking about Barabbas?
Yes, yes, Jesus Barabbas. Yes, 27:17.
Wait. Wait, hold on. That's weird. It's just showing up all this random stuff. No, no, that's some. Oh, wait, that's a name. I forgot. Matthew, Gospel, Barabbas. There we go. Barabbas or Jesus. Now at the feast, the governor was accustomed to release for the crowd any one prisoner whom they wanted, and they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when they had gathered, Pilate to them, whom do you? Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Christ?" For he knew that it was out of envy they had delivered him up. Besides, while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much over him today in a dream." Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the people of Barabbas to ask for Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor again said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ? Let him be crucified." And he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." What is how
Yeah,
this
interesting.
doesn't make any
Interestingly,
sense. How is Barabbas supposed to be like Jesus?
interestingly, the name Jesus Barabbas, actually means Barabbas literally means son of the Father, son of the Father. The Father by that he means the Father God. This is a special name because he was, and it's not there in the New Testament, but this special name seems to be uh, referring to a Messiah. You
Wait,
know,
so this name isn't in the New Testament?
it is right there. You just read it, Barabbas.
So what isn't in the New Testament?
What is not in the New Testament is his story,
His
because
story?
Jesus is the one. Yeah, his story is not there in the New Testament.
So
But his
wait, hold
name
on.
is a messianic name.
Where are you getting this story of Barabbas from then?
Did I say any story of him? I just said this name is a messianic name.
All right, uh, Barabbas. Son of the Father, Bar Abba. Ah, I get it, Bar Abba. And refers to the criminal freed from the crowd instead of Jesus, symbolizing humanity's choice of rebellion, the Son of the Father over the true Son of God. I don't understand. I don't. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say this is another Jesus that history we lost through history. You know,
Another Jesus?
he was. Sorry, man. I'm saying this in a not really good way because I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus, but I'm saying this to check your position. You know, I'm saying this because to make sure because see this guy could be the one who's trying to be fulfilling the prophecies, or the typologies, even though
Can you
I could
prove that?
argue. Well, we cannot exactly prove it as much as Jesus.
Then
Let
why
me
do you
just say
believe
that.
it?
I mean, I got the answer.
Then why do you believe that?
Why would I believe what exactly?
Why do you believe it if it's not if you can't prove it? Like what? What are you saying?
You could prove it because Barabbas is a messianic name. You're so fundamentally the question you were asking is that do you know any other person who could have done that? I'm saying Barabbas could have done that.
I don't understand. Are you saying why are you getting the idea that Barabbas was trying to be like Jesus?
Barabbas is a messianic name.
What? What? That's the
It's a
whole
messi.
reason?
Yeah, that's the whole
Where is
argument.
Barabbas born?
I have no idea.
So you're just basing this all on his name? That his name means son of the
I
father?
mean, come on, man. Yes, I'm basing it all on the name Son of the Father.
That
Yes,
doesn't
exactly.
make any. Are you? Oh no, are you joking or something? Or
Okay, Kim. Okay, this might be. Let me just admit this argument could be weak. But the point is, what I'm to say is that arguing that Jesus could have not fulfilled these supposedly typologies, could have not fulfilled them. He could have fulfilled them out of his own base, you know, is closer to truth than saying God became flesh and he did them. What's closer to truth? I mean, this is as they call it the Occam's razor. Occam's razor.
what?
It's using the least possibilities. What, for example, your neighbor is snoring loudly. Okay, no, it could be two possibilities. Either your neighbor is sleeping, or number two, and a robber broke into your neighbor's house and killed him and then started sleeping in his bed. Which one is true? You gotta choose one because it's more logically sound. It's closer. There's no possibilities building up on it.
And what does this have to
Look at
do
Jesus.
with this?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just tell you now. So you grant this. If you grant this, what's closer to being true? Jesus looking at the Bible, trying to make prophecies, trying to make these prophecies supposedly true, or him being actually the Son of God, being born on earth and fulfilling these prophecies? What's closer to truth? And what could be more possible?
Probably the second one.
How the second one? How can how
Because he
can how can how can it be?
because he fulfilled like
Why
a
why?
ton of typology.
Okay, why didn't he fulfill them on his own case
What do you
without
mean?
God?
You why didn't he fulfill them purposely, just as a man?
Yes,
Because
yes.
it's too specific.
Okay, a man could be too specific. I mean, what's the problem? He can be a man could look into it too specifically and fulfill them.
That doesn't make any sense. What?
A man could read the Bible very specifically and then fulfill them. And tell you what,
No,
if
that's
if
not what I
using
meant.
typologies like this, yeah, okay. If you're picking and choosing typologies, let me ask you this: why didn't Jesus fulfill Abraham's prophecy? Sorry, Abraham's typology of getting a son. Abraham got a son. Jesus does not have a son.
What are you talking
This is
about?
ridiculous. You're picking and choosing typologies to fulfill Jesus. I mean, let's be honest here.
Hold on. You said because Abraham has a son, that Jesus also needs to have a
Yeah,
son?
Abraham has a son. Yeah, it's fulfilling typology.
Um, that's not entirely true, because the purpose of typology is it needs to get capped off for it to be complete. Jesus caps it
What does
off.
capped off mean?
He caps it off. So basically, if it was that it had to be exactly the same, then Jesus would need a son, and then that son would also need a son, and that son would also need a son. It would be infinite regression, and it's obviously not that way. It's supposed to be capped off with Jesus. It's supposed to be fulfilled with Jesus. Like, you have to have the thing with Abraham and Isaac. Isaac is the type of Christ. Jesus fulfills it. Jesus doesn't have to have a son of his own. That's not what it is.
The thing is that you're picking and choosing stories in the Bible, older stories in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and putting them onto Jesus.
No, no, I don't think I'm
As you
doing
said,
that.
yeah, as you said about Isaac, about these guys. Why didn't what's it called? Why isn't Jesus fulfilling the prophecy of Noah? People got put
The
into punishment
prophecy of
afterwards.
Noah. Oh yeah, let me look that one up. All right, all right, all right. Noah's Ark.
No,
Let's
no,
see.
I'm not saying of Noah's prophecy.
Oh
Noah did
no,
not
this
make
one
any
here.
prophecy.
There's another typology here. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Where
Okay,
where where is it? Noah's Ark Bible. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, you know how Noah's Ark works, right? Everyone who doesn't go on the Ark gets killed.
yes.
Do you know? Do you know what Jesus represents here? Is being
Yeah,
represented
Jesus
by?
is the ark.
Yeah.
So Jesus sometimes is an object. Jesus sometimes is a human. Jesus sometimes is a son. Jesus sometimes is Joseph. I mean, what the hell? What type of argument are you guys doing here?
It's not that. It's
Jesus
not.
is an ark.
Listen. It's not that Jesus is physically an ark. It's that he will save everyone.
Represent.
He will save
Yes, I
everyone
get you.
from the condemnation of God. That's the point.
Yeah.
The point
What's
is
the
the point.
principle of
Listen.
using typology?
No. The
What's
point.
your
The
principle
point.
in the?
The point isn't that Jesus is a boat or that Jesus is Joseph. The point is that the ark, it points to Christ. It points to Jesus. Not that Jesus has to be a boat now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you. But what's the principle in choosing what is a typology and what is not a typology? What is
Uh,
your principle? What's your arbiter?
what's my arbiter? What isn't a typology? I mean, it's pretty obvious what's a typology and what isn't a typology.
How is it very obvious? It's actually not obvious at all. Let me tell you that.
This is obvious as can be. In with Abraham and Isaac, it's pretty obvious here. It's pretty obvious that this is typology. Isaac carrying wood on his back up a mountain that God had Abraham go to, a specific mountain, brought up on it, almost slain on it, and then a ram is provided instead of a lamb, and Jesus is called the Lamb of God. It's pretty obvious that this is typology,
Okay.
and it's been fulfilled.
Let's say Isaac. So are you saying here Isaac is the typology of Jesus, right? Is
Yes.
currently being the typology of Jesus, right? Okay. Isaac takes the blessing of Esau. Sorry, no, that's not the truth. It was Isaac, the one who gave birth to Esau. Sorry. Yes. Yes. Let's say, for example, Esau, when he took the blessing of, when Jacob took the blessing of Esau. Okay, he took the blessing of Esau. He stole it. Why didn't Jesus fulfill this typology here of stealing someone's blessing?
Because that's not what it's talking about. What it's talking about is the crucifixion. It's not talking about stealing some blessing. That's something that's connected to Isaac. Isaac is just merely temporarily, for a single amount of time, God had them fulfill typology. And it's not that Isaac's entire life is supposed to all be typology. God can have it that way if he wants it that way. But it's just that this
Then
tiny
why
little
didn't you
piece
choose?
of it was.
Then why did you choose this over other stories?
Because this is obvious. It's very obvious.
Okay, check this out. Donald Trump, he won over what's it called? Joe Biden. You know, he stole Joe Biden's blessing. Okay, is this a typology as well?
No.
Why is it not typology? It's obvious.
Donald Trump is not a biblical figure.
Why not? Why isn't he a biblical figure?
Because
I want to
not in
make
the Bible.
the Trump
The
Testament,
Bible's already
the 20th
canonized.
century.
The Bible's finished. Trump isn't in the Bible. I don't. What?
I want to make another Bible. I want to name it the Trump Bible. You know, it's this typology proves that Trump is the next Messiah, whatever.
But the Bible says Jesus is the Messiah. There's no next Messiah.
Granted, I'm just saying, using your arbiter typologies, I could prove another typology just using another story of someone else. You know, put it on Trump, for example. You know, and say this is true. You know, Trump is the second Messiah. Is the second Messiah. You know, why not? Can you prove that wrong?
Can you prove it right?
Can you prove Jesus right?
Yeah, I already did that.
Yeah, it's obvious, right? You said that the typology is obvious.
I did it like 6
Well,
times.
Trump's
actually.
typology is obvious.
No.
Trump's typology is obvious.
No, it's not.
Why is it not?
You just made that up right here, and I have no reason to believe that's talking about typology.
If I made it up right here, does that make it wrong?
Not necessarily, I guess.
Okay, tell me why is it wrong?
Because the Bible's not talking about that. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Okay, the Bible is not talking about a God coming in flesh and dying on the cross. Okay, I can say that as well.
Yes, it is.
You know. Okay, why are you saying that the Bible is not talking about Trump taking the blessing of Biden?
Because it's not obvious that it's talking about Trump. Where is it talking about
Why
Trump?
is it not obvious?
No, why is it obvious? Why are you saying it's obvious?
Why is it not obvious?
No.
I'm saying it's obvious because there is something similar. You know, there's a story in the Bible. It's similar to Trump. It's ridiculous that I'm arguing with this, but I'm just Trump is taking the blessing.
What?
It's funny, you know, because it's these leaders are wretched people. But I'm just arguing for the sake of showing you how ridiculous your argument is. You know, bring it closer to your face.
I don't agree with your logic, man.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you know, just like the story of Jacob taking the blessing of Esau, you know, this could be shown as Trump. He took the blessing of Biden in being president.
That's not obvious at
You
all,
know,
though.
why is it not obvious at all?
That's a single thing, first off. The It's a single thing. Second off, why? I have no reason to believe this is talking about Trump at all.
And have no reason to believe that that a sheep, someone turning from instead of being killed and the sheep being killed instead, is someone who's going to come after it by 3,000 years and is going to die on the cross
On
as
the
well.
mount of the Lord it shall be provided.
Okay.
Right here. On the mount of the Lord it will be provided. It's pretty obvious it's talking about someone.
What shall be provided?
The lamb.
The lamb. Okay, it could be another lamb, a basic lamb.
You think it's just talking? Are you saying it could just be talking about a random lamb?
Not necessarily a random lamb. It's going to be a great lamb. Like the Israelites, they want to kill the red heifer. They want to kill the red heifer to whatever reasons they have. It's going to be a great lamb. But it's not going to be Jesus. It's not going to be a human being. It's going to be a great lamb or a great heifer.
Why not Jesus?
Why not the great heifer? The red heifer. Whatever.
Because it doesn't seem to fulfill any of this.
Why does it not seem to fulfill any of this?
Well, what is the red heifer about, anyway?
It's about the building of the third temple.
Building of a third temple, okay. And how is this building of a third temple, does it lift up some wood that it's going to be sacrificed on, up a mountain, on a specific mountain in the region of Moriah?
Yeah.
Yes, it does that?
Let's say yes. In the region of Moriah, yes. Where is Moriah?
Moriah? No.
Jesus got crucified on the Mount of Olives, not Moriah.
Mount of Olives? No, it was
The Mount of Olives. That's where
Golgotha, not Mount of Olives. That's where he.
Okay. Golgotha. Okay.
That's where he broke
Okay.
down at
Is
the
that
ground and
Moriah?
prayed to God.
Okay. Is that Moriah?
Moriah.
Is Golgotha Moriah? You hear me, brother?
Huh? I'm looking at it. Hold on. Yes, many scholars believe that Golgotha, Calvary, is either the same location as Mount Moriah or part of the same ridge, representing the high point where Jesus' crucifixion, fulfilling the foreshadowing of Abraham's near sacrifice of Isaac. I'm out of Gatorade. You there?
Yes, sir.
Did what now?
What were you saying? You said it was the same place as Moriah?
I mean, yeah, it's what it seems to say. I mean, yeah. I looked it up. It says yes. Many scholars believe Golgotha, Calvary, is either the same location as Mount Moriah or part of the same ridge, representing the high point where Jesus' crucifixion fulfilled the foreshadowing Abraham's near sacrifice of Isaac.
Are the places named the same thing, or are they different names?
It doesn't matter if they're named the same thing. It was thousands of years, man.
Well, yeah. If the scholars want to say something, they gotta bring proof. Are they just throwing something out of nowhere? If the names are different, this is a strong sign that they're not the same.
Not really.
It is a strong sign that it's not the same. If I say house 1 and house 2, house 1, you would think that house 1 is different than house 2. Unless there's a other proof that proves that house 1 is actually house 2.
I mean, it's saying that Golgotha is on Mount Moriah, so Golgotha being the skull-shaped summit or nearby area on the mountain where the temple was built. So, I mean, I don't really see any issue. I don't know if this is really going anywhere at this point. I'm tired, but what were you saying?
Okay, yeah, I'm tired of this bun, man. It's
Yeah.
been long. It's nice talking to you, man. Don't get this any. Don't think this is other way wrong place. It's nice talking to you.
Okay.
It's just a discussion. Nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, I remember you now. You're Sub High. I remember that. I remember that name, Sub High. Yeah, I remember that. Sub High. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's familiar to me.
yeah. That name means my morning.
Your morning. All right then.
That's what it means.
Well, are we done here then, or what do you?
Yeah, well, let's keep it for another time. Probably talk for another time. You
Okay
know.
then.
Yeah, I hope
Well,
it's
good,
quite late now.
good evening then, I guess.
Anyway,
No, I'm gonna click the leave call button now.
yeah. Okay. See you, man.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty long. It was streamed for how many hours? About 2 hours there. That was pretty long. Well, I'll see you guys next time. I don't I don't know, man. I'm just for some reason when I debate I sweat a lot, so I'm gonna go clean up. But see ya.